Hello again. Now, G20 leaders have agreed to develop AI and data governance for sustainable development. They say artificial intelligence must be good and must be for all. Now, under South Africa's presidency, the Technology Policy Assistance Facility with UNESCO was established. Let's find out if South Africa and the continent, though, are ready for this new wave of technology. We chat now to Richard Frost from Amata Cybersecurity. Richard, good morning, and thanks so much for your time this morning. And yes, I suppose that is the question. Is South Africa and is the continent ready to use AI responsibly?
Good morning. Yeah, I think what you're going to find with AI in South Africa is I think we as a company are very good at developing the AI software. We have quite a few companies at the moment that are utilizing AI in their day-to-day operations in ways of streamlining business. There's even call centers now that are completely AI-based. It sounds like you're talking to a human being, but it's actually an AI prompt. The governance as far as AI is concerned, there's frameworks and standards out there already like NIST and ISO that have introduced their AI frameworks. I think it's now whether the country itself is actually utilizing those frameworks in the way we govern AI. And as far as the users are concerned, I think it's whether we have access to those facilities. AI is readily available already. I don't think many people are using it yet. Yeah. I think that's going to be the longest adoption process, is actually getting used to using AI.
Well, Richard, I'm not the best at technology. I mean, the most I know about AI is, where you get all these random pictures and images that are created that are actually not quite possible in reality. When it comes to actually, say, for example, running a municipality using AI, I mean, how would they? What's the just practically give me an example of how you might be using it.
I think a lot of the times you're going to have call center agents that will most likely have AI in assistance. So when you phone into a municipality and you want to dispute a municipal account, or you want to query why you were billed for something, that could all be done via an AI kind of interface, right? So you'd phone in, you'd be answered by an AI. It will ask you a few probing questions to understand what it is that you're trying to achieve. And based on your responses, it will have further questions until it routes you to the right person. It may even be able to resolve that issue itself. That might be able to pull your account information and tell you, you were billed for this according to your latest water meter reading or something like that. So it's going to streamline and help in situations where there's capacity issues. You'll see when you have an influx of calls during sort of peak season or at the end of the month, AI will help a lot there to balance the skills that are available to answer those calls by being able to take some of that load off of the resources that you have on board.
And you do talk about you mentioned electricity readings or water readings, and we know that that's a huge issue for South Africans at the moment when there's incorrect readings, they're being billed incorrectly. Would AI be a solution to that?
It could help a lot. It would be able to analyze some of the information and see where there's duplicate billing. Some of the issues that you'll find is there might be something like a debit order that was bounced and the person pays via EFT, and then it hasn't picked up because of the fact that the debit order was bounced, so you get kind of like a double billing. AI might be able to actually pick up and correlate that information before the latest invoices are sent out. That would also help with incorrect billing issues as well. I think as well, what you'll find with certain departments, especially in the police, it might even be able to log certain cases by asking the right questions and get you to the right division, whether it be theft of a purse versus theft of a motor vehicle. So the AI intelligence there would kind of be able to route you through to the right detective, so to speak, or even build a case.
No,
So
Richard,
I think, that there's definitely... Sorry, carry on.
No, you go on.
Yeah, I was going to say there's definitely that need for it. I think our biggest issues that we're going to find with AI is the speed at which it operates is going to start overtaking what humans can do. We just need to make sure that it's trained well enough to know what's correct, what's incorrect.
Yeah, and that was what I was going to ask you about next. I mean, this, you being South African, you would have heard stories recently about who runs our municipalities, their qualifications, what's been happening there, opening the door for corruption as well. Would AI be something that would open the door for corruption and allow for it to happen more? Or would it be the solution where it might help curb corruption? If we're talking service delivery, then we're talking municipalities and government.
So AI itself should not be corruptible. There's ethics built within the solution to prevent that, right? But again, it depends on the human element that's actually building and training the AI. AI would be like a child at first. It would have access to the internet to build its own neural network or its brain. And then it has a controller that controls the ethical behavior of that AI. And, if you look at the way people build AI, there are already global governance around AI that talk to things like, the right to data privacy, safety and security of the users. Somebody needs to take accountability and they need to have a responsibility around the building of that AI. We need to look at fairness and non-discrimination, especially in South Africa. Things like human rights and human dignity are a big factor for us as well. And then also ensuring, diversity and inclusiveness. There was actually quite an interesting article where because some of the AI developers are men, and it had a lot more male bias than female, for example. And that's going to be the biggest issue for us is getting that balance within the AI during our training of it, and making sure all those checks and balances are in place to ensure that, nobody can actually manipulate the AI into doing wrong.
Well, it's great news for me that you actually recognize that and realize it could be a problem. So we'll wait and watch this space very closely. Thanks very much for that, Richard Frost. He's from Amata Cybersecurity.